But things appear to be trending up, up, and away for Deion Sanders to become the next head coach in Dallas, a long-time NFL insider who resides in the Dallas area. Ed Werder, who's got a direct line to Jerry Jones, tells us that he has been informed by league sources that Deion Sanders would almost certainly accept the Cowboys job if Jerry Jones offered it. The story also indicating that those closest inside the bubble of trust with Deion Sanders are encouraging him to pursue the NFL coaching job. But wait, there's more. Jerry Jones also apparently enamored with the idea of having Deion as his coach, according to longtime grizzled Ed Werder. So let us discuss. Question. Deion Sanders, according to this, would almost certainly accept the Cowboys head coaching job if offered. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. So I've got Humphrey Bogart, bitter pill, and groundwork. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice meatloaf is what we're going to make. I never liked meatloaf when I was a kid, and I really don't like it now. My mom made it every once in a while. I said, why do you make that, Mom? I don't like that. All right, so let's start with this. In terms of answering the question, Deion Sanders almost certainly would accept the Cowboy job. Do you believe it or not? I am a true believer. I'm not agnostic. I believe it. I believe it. To me, this is a no-brainer. I don't even know why this debate's even happening, right? Sanders played in Dallas for 5 seasons. I know it was a generation ago, and maybe you don't remember it. He helped the Cowboys actually win a Lombardi, so you got to be old to remember when Deion played for the Cowboys. He was an all-pro defensive player for 4 seasons. He raised his family in the suburbs of Big D. Deion Sanders would be a total dingleberry to not take the job. He's not a knucklehead. And this is not some generic position. Like, it's easy. I won't say it's easy. It's easier to say no to Jacksonville. You can say no to Jacksonville. Right? This is a little different. When you think of iconic jobs as a coach in American sport, what do you think? Do you think managing the New York Yankees, like coaching the Boston Celtics or the hated purple and gold, whatever that team is, and the Dallas Cowboys? You think of those type of jobs. And so as a football coach, this is it. And to think Deion Sanders a couple years back was coaching high school football in Texas, and now he has a chance at the Cowboy job. And no matter how pathetic the Cowboys are record-wise, and we've talked about that a lot over the last 30 years, coaching the Cowboys just matters a little more, right? It doesn't matter if they're a mid-talent team. If you can be the person to get them to the next level, as a football coach, it is the line from the Maltese Falcon from Humphrey Bogart. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. If you're a football coach, right? You're following the path of Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson. Now, I didn't mention Dave Campo or Chan Gailey. I didn't mention them and some of the other stiffs that have coached the Cowboys. But, there's some big-time people that have coached in Dallas. Now, page 2. So the chatter that Deion Sanders would be okay. There's some noise here that he'd be okay coaching Dakota Prescott. There were some reports earlier this week saying that he doesn't really want to do that. He wants to coach his son, Shadur. He doesn't want to deal with Dakota Prescott. So do you believe that Deion would be on board, give the old thumbs up to handling his inherited quarterback if he got the job? So I'll say, based on what I've heard, he would not be enamored. He would put on a happy face, but it would be a bitter pill to swallow, right? Can we all agree on that? It's the kind of stuff you pinch your nose because there's a little foul smell. And I walked by the sewer the other day, and I had to cover my nose because it smelled really nasty. Dak Prescott is part of the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. He's not part of the solution. He's an enigma because he puts up numbers low information fans think he's better than he is. And a lot of his success are in dog food games where the other team is clearly below the level of talent the Cowboys have. But time and again, he's been there a long time and again in big spots, playoff games, key late season, regular season games, you're guaranteed he's going to underperform. He's not as bad as some of the other stiffs of like Andy Dalton or more recently Sam Darnold here. But he fails to meet expectations. Mike Tomlin likes to say the standard is the standard there in Pittsburgh. The standard's a winning record and losing the wild card game. But for Dakota, the standard is running into a pothole in big games. Watching him play in these moments is about as enjoyable as having a fissure in your tuchus. And the real ones know, right? The real ones know. Coach Prime, if he gets the job, if he, first of all, you got to offer the job officially. If that happens, you have to click that little check box where I agree to terms and conditions from Jerry Jones. But that doesn't mean you cannot work back channels, take Jerry out to a nice cigar bar somewhere and a piano bar and get Jerry to have a few cocktails, and then all of a sudden Dak Prescott gets a one-way ticket out of Dodge somewhere else. And he does have an ace up his sleeve. Right? The ace up Deion Sanders' sleeve would be Jerry Jones apparently enamored with the idea of Coach Prime coming to town. And in spite of a crap bag roster, Jerry knows, hey, I can stay in the spotlight. And he's the carnival barker. He's got the straw hat. He's got the striped red and white jacket on. It's all about the puffery. If he cuts a check to buy Deion Sanders out of his college job, that would give away even more leverage to Deion. Now, speaking of that, the last word here. Back in Boulder. So we read that Deion Sanders has approached the Colorado athletic director, someone named Rick George. Sounds like a fake name. I don't know who that is, but apparently it's the athletic director in Colorado, Rick George. No relation to Paul George or George of the Jungle. But anyway, Deion Sanders approached the Colorado athletic director, Rick George, about additional moolah. Once more that NIL money and also money for his coaching staff. And the story that's being bounced around the echo chamber is that was not allowed. There was some resistance from the athletic director at Colorado. So, question. As we move forward with the scuttlebutt about Deion Sanders and the Cowboys, why is Colorado said to be resistant to Deion Sanders' request for more NIL money? All right, so I gave this story a little side-eye. We like to play the game Who Leaked the Story. And based on a minutes-long Maller investigation, this obviously came from Coach Prime's camp, right? This is a classic groundwork move. You leak this story to one of your buddies in the media, or a couple of them. Get this story bouncing around. It makes Colorado look bad. It gives Deion Sanders an out. You plant the seed in the media. Well, Deion, he loves Colorado, but they don't love him back. And he's got an opportunity to go to the NFL, and they don't want to spend enough money. And Deion's trying to compete with Ohio State and Notre Dame and all these teams that were deep in the college football playoff, and they're not giving him enough money, and he's just got to go somewhere else. I mean, he's just not getting the support. He's the victim. Yeah. It's old-fashioned. It's a strategic leak. You know it didn't come from the university because it makes them look like a bunch of tightwads. So why would you leak a story that makes you look bad? It makes them look, they're not really committed to it. Now, Deion's college coaching career, if you look at it from 30,000 feet in the sky, Deion's college coaching career, the goal was to get his kids an opportunity in the NFL. Looks like one of them is definitely going to have a chance, Shedeur Sanders. The other one maybe gets drafted, maybe he's a street free agent, possibly makes a practice squad, something like that. But that's where we are. So that was the goal, right? When we started, is I'm going to get my kids to the NFL. Now that mission has been accomplished, the eagle has landed, if you will. He can go now try Deion to square the circle. See if he can square the circle and see if he can work that out. It is the Ben Maller Show. We are going to have a verbal octagon. We're going to bob and weave on the audio box that we're in right